Joe Walsh's journey with the Eagles is a classic American success story, but at 78, he is finally lifting the veil on his decades-long, turbulent relationship with Don Henley. What he has to reveal is a complex tapestry of creative clashes, personal conflicts, and a bond that nearly shattered under the weight of rock stardom. When Walsh joined the Eagles in 1975, he was a hand grenade thrown into a room full of architects. He was loud and impulsive. Don Henley was structured and meticulous. Their first clash happened almost immediately over a high-energy guitar riff Walsh brought to the table. Henley's verdict? Too wild, Joe. Not the Eagles' style. While Glenn Frey eventually brokered a peace deal, calling the riff gold, the battle lines were drawn. Walsh wanted freedom, while Henley demanded a narrative with emotional weight. This friction birthed a signature sound, a perfect, tense marriage of Walsh's fire and Henley's discipline. Tempers, turmoil, and the long night. By 1980, the success of Hotel California had turned the band into a pressure cooker. Henley was the strict professional, Walsh was spiraling into substance abuse, becoming Chaotic Joe. The breaking point was the infamous Long Night at Long Beach, where onstage hostility became physical. Henley exploded backstage, accusing Walsh of sabotaging the band's reputation. To Henley, Walsh's unpredictability wasn't just a nuisance, it was a threat to the Eagles' legacy. The band split shortly after, leaving a trail of resentment that lasted for over a decade. A life-saving intervention. The darkest chapter came in the early 90s. Walsh had hit rock bottom, drifting away from everyone. When talk of a reunion surfaced for the Hell Freezes Over project, Henley and Frey delivered a brutal ultimatum: get sober, or there is no place for you in the Eagles. Surprisingly, the strict Don Henley became Walsh's lifeline. He personally escorted Joe to rehab in Arizona and called him every single week. When Walsh emerged sober, Henley gave him a brand new Fender Telecaster with a handwritten note. Walsh wept. It wasn't just a guitar, it was his dignity returned to him. The 2016 death of Glenn Frey changed everything. Walsh saw a side of Henley the public never did, a man broken and fragile, sitting alone in a studio listening to old tracks with red eyes. Henley initially wanted to end the Eagles, calling it an empty shell. It was Walsh who helped convince him to carry on, eventually bringing in Glenn's son, Deacon, to keep the spirit alive. Romance, rumors, and rivalry. The media often fueled rumors of a feud over Stevie Nicks, whom both men dated at different times. While Walsh insists there was no overlap or theft, the tension was real. Henley once scolded Walsh for bringing Nicks to a show, telling him not to complicate things. For Henley, the work was sacred. For Walsh, life and art were always a messy blur. A complicated brotherhood. Today, Walsh has been sober for over 30 years. He spends his time with his charity, Vets Aid, while Henley lives a quiet life in Texas focused on environmental preservation. Their relationship remains a mix of quiet battles and deep respect. They still clash, but the fire has cooled into a steady, grateful embers. For more deep dives into rock history, stay tuned to Prestige Buzz. Enjoyed this story? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you never miss an update.